which is on the second page. Can you read it aloud for the record?
It is against this background we are acceptable to your request, to your requested price review. And we would like to extend a 25% discount on all prices, provided that payment is effected in USD Nostro account.
So do you accept that when Black Deck Private Limited acceded to your request to the 25% reduction, it acceded to it on that condition?
If from that letter, yes, which was addressed to the permanent secretary, who would then he would have responded to that request.
Okay. Thank you. I had earlier on indicated that Black Deck Private Limited had also written to you requesting for your ministry to comply with the 30% requirement. You may want to have sight of this letter of the 7th of July 2022. That had been addressed to the permanent secretary. I do understand and appreciate that maybe you may not have had sight of it. But with that letter, would you dispute it that Black Deck Private Limited wrote to your ministry requesting for the ministry to comply with the clause that required the ministry to pay 30% upfront?
There is a sentence which indicated the outstanding balance from the 30%. Yes.
Indeed. Was that balance demanded by Black Deck Private Limited ever paid to Black Deck Private Limited by the ministry?
All I know is that the 7.7% was the amount paid. Nothing more was paid to Black Deck.
So your answer is yes, that balance was not paid?
No.
When you say no, you are saying the balance was paid. I just want the record to be correct. Yes. That's it.
It's the correct English.
It's a double digit, double negative. All right. This letter again was written by Mr. Gift Matiza.
Yes.
Of Black Deck Private Limited. Right. Is it correct that your ministry has not lodged any complaint against the first accused person with any law enforcement agent up to date?
Not really. What we had done was to write a letter to them.
Okay. You wrote a letter of cancellation. Yes. In the letter of cancellation, the basis of you cancelling the contract was based on the clause that relates to convenience. To say for the ministry's convenience, we are cancelling this contract. Is that correct?
I don't remember the correct wording. the actual wording.
Okay, what about the clause that you relied on in that letter, which was submitted as an exhibit? Would you remember it?
No, these letters are ordinarily drafted by the legal department, so they would quote the necessary statements.
I would want you to have sight of the letter that was produced as exhibit number 10 on page 73 and page 74, and would want you to read the last paragraph on page 73.
In light of the above, the ministry hereby terminates the contract with immediate effects for its convenience in terms of clause 16.3.1.
Yes. So do you now accept that the ministry relied on convenience to cancel the contract?
I don't know the legal understanding of convenience.
But do you accept that in cancelling the contract, the ministry did not say we are cancelling on the basis that Black Deck Private Limited forged documents?
I only read that statement which was drafted by the legal. Whatever convenience means, it's a legal interpretation.
No, never mind about the word convenience. But I'm saying, in your understanding as the chief director, did you understand the cancellation to have been based on an allegation that Black Deck Private Limited had forged any documents?
He doesn't know what convenience means. How does he know that it excludes what you are saying?
My Lord, the question that I was putting was whether I'd left the issue of convenience. I was
He
now
already said, I don't know what convenience means in legal terms. So, how then can he exclude that it means forgery and so on?
I'm no longer talking about convenience and what it excludes. I'm now talking about forgery in its own sense.
Okay, let me try and explain.
Yes.
He says he doesn't know what convenience means, which means he cannot say it does not include forgery because he doesn't know what it means. You understand?
I do understand, my Lord.
Yes,
Maybe let me rephrase, my Lord. Let me rephrase. At some point, your ministry was advised that there was an allegation of forgery. Is that correct?
At which point, legal?
Have you ever heard about the issue of forgery?
Let me explain. When that letter was written,
No.
was...
I'm not talking about the letter, Prof. I've left the issue of the letter.
Yes, last year.
Last year.
Yes.
That is 2024.
Yes.
It is not your ministry which unearthed any allegation relating to forgery. Is that not so?
I would understand that in the process of interrogating this contract, we had to go back to all the documents. That's when this anomaly was discovered.
I'd want you to have sight of your police statement, your statement to ZAG. Right. I would want you to read paragraph number 15 of your statement to ZAC.
After inquiries by the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission, we noted that Black Deck Private Limited did not act in good faith, in that they misrepresented facts to us by submitting a forged tax clearance certificate and a NASA compliance certificate.
Okay. So, at what point did your ministry note that?
When ZAC started to have interest, all the files pertaining to this contract were brought. That's when that analysis was now made.
Yes, when was that?
Last year, June,
Yes.
May, June.
Yes, it was after you had written this letter of the 19th of August 2022.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
So now I'll come back to say, is it not correct, therefore, for me to conclude that when this letter of cancellation was written, your ministry was not complaining about the forgery that you are referring to in paragraph 15 of your ZAC police report?
In August 2022,
Yes.
we were merely complaining about the non-performance on the contract.
Now, I'd want you to have sight of the exhibit 10. And would want to put it to you that what you are saying you are complaining about is not raised there. Non-performance.
Do you want me to respond?
Yes, I'm just putting it to you.
When this letter was written, it was really because of non-performance. That is what we had put. When legal drafts the letters, they then put it in the legal language, which is why I said that word convenience, I don't know what it means in legal language.
But you cannot point out at any portion where it says non-performance as a basis in this.
From that letter, no.
Right. Now, let me come now to the charge that the first accused person is facing. The allegation you make in your paragraph 15 is that Black Deck Private Limited forged documents. Is that correct?
Correct.
In your statement to Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission, you did not make an allegation, and it is not your evidence that the first accused person forged any documents. Correct?
That is what is on section 15.
I want you to read section 15 again.
After inquiries by the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission, we noted that Black Deck Private Limited did not act in good faith, in that they misrepresented facts to us by submitting a forged tax clearance and a NASA compliance certificate.
Yes. Who is being alleged to have submitted those forged things? It is Black Deck Private Limited, correct?
Yes.
who failed to deliver the goods. It is Black Deck Private Limited, correct?
Correct.
It is not your evidence that it is the first accused person who failed to deliver the goods, correct?
When we call the Black Deck, the accused persons would come.
Okay. So you are saying that the first accused person is Black Deck Private Limited too?
Black Deck is a company, and the people that represent it would come when we called them.
Okay. When I initially asked you about the issues relating to the company, you had said you did not, it was not your purview and you did not check about the issues of company. So now when you are saying Mpofu is Black Deck Private Limited, is it an area that you'd fairly appreciate?
Maybe let me refresh you. When I joined the ministry and the issue of Black Deck came up, I would say, can we have a meeting with the Black Deck? And the accused plus one other would come. So whether you want me to delink Black Deck from people, I don't know.
I'm just saying, in your report to Zach, you did not say Moses Mpofu did this. You said Black Deck Private Limited did this.
It's a matter of semantics, but we were dealing with the Black Deck.
Okay. So when this tender was tendered, who participated in that tender?
Black Deck.
As a company?
Of course, as a company.
Do you accept that Black Deck Private Limited is a registered company?
I am not sure, but it should be.
Okay. I want to take you to Exhibit 14, the tendered documents. The bid by Black Deck Private Limited. In particular, Annex Chart 3 of that. That is the bid that Black Deck Private Limited submitted.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there are company documents there.
Yes, there are company documents.
Do you dispute those company documents that Black Deck Private Limited is a registered legal entity in Zimbabwe?
Oh, it is a company registered in Zimbabwe. Otherwise, it would not have been
in the tender,
allowed to participate.
In the tender?
Yes.
This tender document was prepared and submitted by one Teach Dembo. Do you dispute that?
I was not yet with the ministry when that process was done.
Yes. So you do not dispute it?
I don't know who submitted it.
The reason why I ask is that in your statement to Zach, you indicated that Black Deck Private Limited submitted forged tax clearance certificates. It submitted forged NASA compliance certificates. Correct?
Correct.
Right. So now I want you, and when I then asked you to say, is it your evidence that it is the first accused person who you were talking about to say he submitted these forged NASA certificates, these forged tax certificates. This is why I'm asking you to say, would you dispute it if I tell you that the documents that were submitted to the ministry were not submitted by the first accused person?
To us, the person who submitted or the person who represents Black Deck is the one we deal with. As I said, when we call Black Deck, people come, and those are the people, whether they are employees or they are owners, but they represent Black Deck.
Yes. So I'm putting it to you that the person who submitted this document is T. Chimombe, which you are not disputing.
I have already said when these were submitted, I was not yet with the ministry.
Yes. So I'm therefore then saying when you were in your paragraph 15, when you were saying Black Deck Private Limited submitted forged documents, you were not saying the first accused person submitted forged documents, were you?
I am not sure how I should say it. I would not have put names because we were dealing with a company.
Okay, so now for clarity's sake, you confirm that it is not your evidence that the first accused person submitted any forged documents?
Black Deck, I would not say this person or that person or that person. We are dealing with a company that was awarded a tender.
Yes, I do understand you when you say you are dealing with a company that's awarded a tender. But what I want you to understand is that the first accused person, as Moses Mpofu, is facing an offense of having submitted forged documents. So I want you to clarify for the record. Never mind about Black Deck. I want to hear you clearly whether or not it is your evidence that Moses Mpofu, the first accused person, submitted forged documents.
I've already indicated that I was not there when the documents were submitted. So I wouldn't know who submitted the documents. So for me to say it was Mr. Mpofu or Mr. Chimombe, I could not say that. All I know is that the company.
Yes. The company Black Deck Private Limited.
Yes.
Okay. Right. I want you to read also paragraph number 60 of your statement.
As permanent secretary, I am totally disappointed with the failure to deliver of Black Deck as they purported.
Sorry, can you read it in full? I think you have skipped another word there. It just doesn't say Black Deck. Can you read
Black Deck, as the permanent secretary, I am totally disappointed with the failure to deliver of Black Deck private as they purported.
You have left out private.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
As the permanent secretary, I'm totally disappointed with the failure to deliver by Black Deck Private Limited. And then?
As they purported.
So, as the permanent secretary, you have grievances with Black Deck Private Limited as a company. Is that correct?
Yes, that's the company we are dealing with.
If I can just briefly confirm with my client. bid was submitted by one Teach Dembo as a representative of Black Deck Private Limited. In other instances, the letters that you were relating to were written by Mr. Gift Matiza. In other instances, your ministry had meetings with Mr. Moses Mpofu. So, I'm saying, am I correct to then say, as your ministry at different intervals, you were dealing with different personnel representing the company Black Deck Private Limited?
Yes, when we needed them, the representatives would come. So it is possible that we would get, like I'm telling you, that I did not remember the third person when we had some meetings, but yes, it's possible that representatives would be different.
Yes. And when you were dealing with Mr. Moses Mpofu, whenever you dealt with Mr. Moses Mpofu, you dealt with him as a representative of Black Deck Private Limited.
Yes.
It would be not correct, it would not be your evidence to allege that Mr. Moses Mpofu came to your ministry and bidded with a non-existent company. That is not your evidence.
I have already indicated that when the bids were submitted, I was not with the ministry.
Yes, but I'm saying as the permanent secretary, I noticed when you wrote the...
Would that not be left to submissions?
It's fine, my lord. I'll deal with that
that's what I think. If he says he doesn't know, you are perilously close to soliciting an opinion, which is not allowed in court. He doesn't know, he was not there, but you have got facts which should be the basis of your submissions. I think you should make the submissions to the court as opposed to him.
I'll move on, my lord.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Right. After cancelling the contract, you still wrote to Black Deck Private Limited requesting for Black Deck Private Limited to supply goods, correct?
Yes, not only writing but also engaging with them.
Even after the cancellation of the contract, Black Deck Private Limited still continued to deliver goods, correct?
Correct.
And they still did deliver, notwithstanding that you had not completed payment of the 30% that was requested to have been paid upfront, correct?
Correct.
This tender had a guarantee by a bank, correct?
I am not aware.
Up until to date, your ministry has not recalled any bank guarantee, correct?
I'm not sure yet. When the letter to council was sent, it was responded to with objections.
So Black Deck Private Limited objected to the cancellation, correct?
Yes.
Then there were further engagements, correct?
Correct.
Those engagements have not been conclusive, correct?
Yes.
According to Black Deck Private Limited, the contract is still subsisting as of today, correct?
It can be correct, yes.
I have no further questions.
Cross-examination on behalf of accused 2.
Thank you, my lord. Yes, witness, we have heard your evidence that at the time that the initial contract was signed, you were not yet with the ministry. Now my question is, you confirm that when the addendum to the contract was done, you were with the ministry and you are aware of it?
Correct.
Now, can you confirm that this document is actually a copy of the addendum to the initial agreement?
What exhibit number is it?
My lord, I'm not so sure what exhibit number it is, but it was standard. Perhaps I can.
What exhibit is it?
Yes, it is the true copy.
It's not an exhibit. I'm being advised by the state that they did not tender it as an exhibit. But I noticed that it was given to us as part of the statement. In fact, even in the summary of the evidence of the state, it appears as item number 10 of the evidence that the state wanted to lead, to lead in this court. Yes, you have returned me the document. I had not finished asking my question. Now I want you to go to the page where the contract was signed. Are you there yet?
Yes, I'm there.
You confirmed to the court that you had meetings with representatives of Black Deck Private Limited before the signing of that addendum.
Yes.
Now, do you see that there are two signatures that signed with respect to Black Deck?
Yes. It's normal procedure.
Can you tell the court the parties that signed on behalf of Black Deck?
Mr. Moses Mpofu, Mr. Tinashe Chimombe.
Do you know Mr. Tinashe Chimombe if you see?
No, I don't.
Is he not the person that you can return the document to me? Is he not the person that you had meetings with, that you were referring to as Chimombe in your evidence?
I don't know if he came to any of the meetings, but certainly the accused persons would come.
There are two accused persons in this court. Did Mike Chimombe, the second accused, attended any of the meetings that you say were done in your office?
I would think so. That was 2022, I think so. But we would also meet where we would be distributing these goods. So our direction was not just at the meetings.
You are not sure whether or not Mike Chimombe was part of the meetings that were held when the addendum was being negotiated?
I cannot confirm, but maybe the minutes would show who was at the meeting.
You do admit that there are no minutes produced through yourself with regard to the meetings that were done when the addendum was being negotiated?
I think at some point we had some minutes, but some of the engagements would really be mutual. So you would come, discuss round table, and agree, leading to that addendum.
That's not my question, Professor. Just try to answer what I'm asking you. The question is direct. You do admit that in this court, you have not produced minutes with regard to the meetings that you had when you were negotiating the addendum to the contract?
I cannot confirm nor deny, but some meetings had minutes, but the majority of them would really be mutual meetings.
Okay. Now, I put it to you that the second accused person disputes that he ever attended a meeting with you regarding the negotiations of the addendum, as he was not even in the country at the time that those negotiations were done.
I would not remember. Remember, I was new. I had only joined the ministry in early April 2022, and then we had these meetings. But certainly thereafter, we started acquainting with each other.
You said you would then meet him when the goods were being distributed.
They would bring the goods, yes. They will always be there when goods would be distributed.
You confirm that this distribution was done at public places. It was usually at a political rally, am I correct?
Yes.
Where everyone was free to attend?
Yes.
Now, witness, do you appreciate that the offense that the second accused person is facing?
Sorry, repeat that.
Do you appreciate the offense that the second accused person is facing in this court?
I cannot separate the two accused. I can only deal with the black deck or its representatives.
Okay, I'll assist you. The offense is basically that the second accused connived with the first accused and misrepresented certain facts, including documents that you were referring to as forged documents. Now, do you have any evidence against the second accused to say that he forged certain documents?
In my opinion, it is not my jurisdiction to define what black deck is.
Did you understand my question?
Perfectly.
Do you have any evidence at all to show that the second accused forged certain documents?
I cannot separate black deck from its representatives. I deal with the black deck, and that's all.
I have no further questions for this witness, madam.
Re-examination state.
None, my lord.
Thank you very much, Professor, for giving evidence. We just like we did to all other witnesses, we apologize for the delay, the time that it has taken for you to testify. But you are now free.
Thank you.
My Lord, the Honorable Secretary of State, in terms of Section 314 of the Criminal Procedure and Evidence Act, Chapter 9.07, the State is seeking admissions from the two accused persons in relation to the evidence of Spiwe Mpanzula, as is summarized in the summary of the state case. And it also wishes to therefore tender the bank statements which the state is highlighted in items 16 and 17 of the intended documents that it was going to produce. I had sounded my learned colleagues on this course of procedure that the state intended to adopt, and they had not objected. I don't know whether they still stand by their word.
No objections, my lord.
We have no objections to taking that case.
In that case, the state wishes to produce the bank statements.
Let me place it on record that the evidence Sipiwe Mapajula has been formally admitted in terms of Section 314 as summarized by the state.
Yes.
By consent. That is what Section 14314 is. Just a repetition. Sorry about that. So what are we looking at in particular in this bank statements? The whole of it or something?
It will be referred.
Or the dates are there? Okay.
Yes.
So the CAPS bank statements, the spiral bound bank statements Exhibit 16.
Thank you, my lord.
By consent. Proceed.
My lord, the state is no longer going to call the evidence of the seventh witness, Dr. Remigio Macon. He passed on in America around the 27th of, around the 26th of June, 2025.
There's also another witness there.
Yes, the state is no longer going to call the evidence of the investigating officer, Henry Kapkani.
He passed on, Dr. Makoni passed on the 26th of June 2020?
27.
Next day.
Sorry. 2025. I'm sorry.
And that, so we record that the evidence of Remigio Maconi is dispensed with due to that impossibility.
Yes.
And the evidence of Henry Champagne is dispensed with.
Yes.
Thank you. State, proceed.
My Lord Honorable Assessors, the state raised his case, not going to call any more witnesses.
We note that the state has closed its case. Mr. Mtetero?
We do take note of that, my lord. I have instructions, my lord, to apply for discharge at the end of at the close of the state's case.
Vero, just before you proceed, Mr. Matuku.
My Lord and Learned Assessors, we are also going to be applying for discharge at the close of the state.
If you, obviously you've discussed this, it's quite normal. Have you agreed on how to approach the applications?
Yes, my lord. The understanding from the bar, subject to his lordship's direction, is that if the court could indulge us, we could file written submissions in motivation of our application, and then the state can then respond. Yes, my lord. What we had not agreed was the proposed dates, if the court is with us, of our written submissions. Maybe if you could just indulge us so that we can agree on proposed dates.
Do you intend to motivate them, or you just deal with the applications as submitted? Because there are two methods,
Yes.
oral and written.
Yes.
So if you choose the written, do you want again to appear and make oral submissions, or you can just deal with the submissions?
If you could just indulge us. My lord, the understanding from the bar is that we would request, if his lordship is with us, to motivate even after submitting in writing. Maybe there may be a few grey areas, and would also benefit from the exchange that we would have with the court, my lord.
Thank exchange is what I'm trying to avoid. I don't want to exchange anything anymore. The points can be made, and like I'm saying, you know there's a judgment which actually says submissions ought to be made orally.
Indeed.
Yeah. But it's not really being followed strictly, that judgment. But that's the suggestion which was made by one judge, which to me makes sense.
Indeed.
Because where the judge is not clear, they can pose questions. But from past experience, we want as much as possible to avoid that.
Indeed, my lord.
And I suppose I can see now the benefits of written submissions, but they are kind of flat.
Indeed, my lord. Indeed, my lord.
They don't. When you are making submissions, you are trying to convince.
Yes.
Yeah. So sometimes the interaction is helpful, but sometimes it doesn't come out the way it is expected to. So, well, but if you really want to motivate.
We are now of the view, my lord, given the exchange that I'm actually benefiting from the court from, that would rather make oral submissions, maybe.
So you can make your written submissions so that which you speak to.
Yes.
As your talking points. So
yes.
The court is way ahead, and that will obviously curtail the oral interaction.
Indeed, my lord.
And then we can let's hear from Mr. Magondi. This is essentially the application by the defense, and I really engaged them first because they have got their own preferences. Do you have any problems with written indications which to be placed before the court so that we can read, and then we can then come to speak to those submissions?
I think if they are comfortable with that, since it's their application, the state will go by that.
So, well, now, can you agree on time frames quickly?
By Wednesday. That's fine. I want to find out.
My lord, the agreement from the bar is that if we can be indulged to file by close of business the 9th of July, written submissions in respect of both accused persons.
Yes.
My lord, the state will respond by end of the day on the 15th. Of July.
Mr. Matuku is not happy.
He was the response the following day after he has submitted. I have to go through the state has to go through their written submissions, and then I will start writing. Then the state will start writing. It can't write, cannot start responding before it has been saved with the application. Mr. Matuku wants his way.
It's all right.
So by the end of the day, on the 15th.
It will be a Tuesday.
And oral submissions. Registrar, what date do you give? Do you have? It's the 15th. State, are you not able to bring your date forward maybe to the 14th so that we can convene on the 15th? Well, we don't want to put you under unnecessary pressure. It's for the first time the court is making a request.
That will be fine, my lord. I'll file by end of the day on the 14th. I think that will make Professor Makumbe happy as well.
So, because what I see is that the 15th appears to be, well, I'll be doing appeals on that day. They don't take the whole day. So we may then meet for motivations in the afternoon.
My lord, I wanted to also to request that I will be returning to Zimbabwe on the 16th.
Also, okay, give
so
us
on the
another
15th.
date. Also, the 15th therefore remains. We won't have to interfere with that.
Yes.
Because we are pushing the date for whatever I'm failing to say. Oral admissions. Well, before I dispose of the matter, let me just indicate that the usual problem with written submissions that sometimes they tend to be too long and boring. You can really get tired before you get to the point. So we were, by and large, the court has got the evidence. What was said by the witnesses, we have got it. The point should be to draw the court's attention to the salient features of the evidence, which is relevant to the determination that should be made. So please don't start telling us, well, I'm not accusing you already, but I'm saying from experience, sometimes written submissions are flat, and they tend to be worse when they're too long. Yeah. So that may disadvantage the accused persons when the judge and the assessors get tired before they get your point through a long and lengthy. So please, experience, just try and go to the point as much as you can. The same applies to the state. So I intend to dispose of this, to adjourn this matter and issue a case management order or directions, is it? I think let's call them directions. That the applicants shall make their application in terms of section 1983, is it?
Yes,
in writing. The state shall respond in writing, and the parties we shall then convene on the 18th for oral submissions, and that the time frame for submissions are those that have been agreed upon, which are that by close of business on the 9th of July, the defense will have filed the written application, and then the state shall file its written response by the 15th of July 2025. And the parties, the court shall convene on the 18th of July 2025 for the purpose of oral submission. Of course, thereafter the court will then give an indication as to when it can rule on the application. And do you wish to add anything?
Nothing,
Nothing. Well, it is so ordered. Accused persons, stand up. The date which is relevant, which is important to you, is the 18th of July 2025. That's when you will have to be in court to listen to the submissions. So the matter is being postponed to that date. The other interim dates are basically directions in terms of, time frames to submit, to make upload documents. They don't concern you at all, except that you may remind your lawyers if you wish to do so. So come back to court on the 18th of July 2025 at 11. I am 100 hours. Thank you. Any other business register?
No further business, my lord.
The court will rise.